My name is Skip Crane, Skipcrane, and I'm one of the founding members of BARC, which is the Bluefield Arts and Revitalization Commission. Originally, we were the Bluefield Preservation Society, BPS. We started in 2009 on this building you see behind me. Right here behind me, it's the Granada Theater. It was built in 1927, but it opened on January the 2nd, 1928. And at the time it opened, it was the largest theater in the state of West Virginia. It seated 1,150 people. It was the largest movie screen in West Virginia. And it was also the first theater in West Virginia that was air conditioned. It is a vaudeville theater. It was not built as a movie house. It was built as a vaudeville theater because the trains from New York to Nashville, New York to Louisiana, New Orleans, New York to Florida, this was the halfway place. So back in the early 20s and 30s, they called this Little New York because they wanted to do shows every night so they could get this far and do a show, and then they could continue the next day and do a show so they didn't lose money. So that's why this theater was really built. There were great famous people on this stage. Roy Rogers, the Lone Ranger, Greer Garson, Bing Crosby, there was all kinds. Benny Goodman, Count Basie, all that. Oh, Marian Anderson, the famous opera singer. All kinds of people came to Bluefield. Now, the marquee that you see behind me is not what most people are going to recognize because in the 1940s, Alex Mahood came in and Art Deco'd this Spanish Moor designed building. So they put up an Art Deco marquee. But in order to qualify for federal funds, we had to put the theater back like it looked on opening day, January the 2nd, 1928. What you see behind me was the marquee that was there. Now, after we spend all of our money on our federal tax credits and all that, we could actually put that marquee back. But we could not put it back to get the federal funds to begin with. Everything has to be original. When we get inside, you'll see that the seats are just a little bit different because our rears have gotten bigger and the federal government has mandated that all seats must be 23 inches wide instead of 19. So now we only seat about 550 downstairs and 250 upstairs. So we lost some of our seating, but it's a lot more comfortable because Americans are bigger now. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, our group in the space of 2009 till opening day this year, we have invested $4.2 million in this building. We are very, very tickled with it. We've got a gift shop. We've got a gelato shop. The nearest gelato shop is 120 miles away. Gelato is an Italian ice cream. It's buttery, it's creamier, and it's delicious. We have about 12 flavors in there. The concessions and the movie prices, we want it to be affordable. So most movie tickets are $5. Your popcorn's $2. Your drinks are $2. The candy's $1 or $2. We want people to be able to come here and have an evening for about $20. You go to a movie, if a boy and a girl want to go to a movie, or whoever, if you want a date, it's going to cost you $50 or $60 to go to the movie, not at the restored Granada. So we hope a lot of people will come and see our theater, that they'll support us. The West Virginia Brass is coming. We're going to have some live theater. We're going to have movies. We just all came and saw Dracula this last Thursday night. I had never seen it, 1933 movie, and I really enjoyed it. So you can drive by, look at the marquee, the pictures on the wall, the advertisements, what movies are on. But the best thing to do is to get on Facebook or on a computer and just enter in GranadaBluefield.com. And all of the stuff that I just told you can pop up, plus all the movies. They change every 2 weeks. We get 6 new movies every 2 weeks. And we've got every cartoon Looney Tunes ever did. Every single one. So that's kind of neat too. So now we'll go inside and we'll see some things inside to talk about. And then my friend Jim Jenks, who has been working on this organ 4 months now, we'll talk a little bit about the organ. And it was built specifically for the Granada Theater in Tonawanda, New York in 1927. And it was built just for this theater. They came here and measured and everything. It's got over 1,100 pipes. And he's going to tell you about it while our friend here films it, and you can see it, and that's going to be great.
I'm Nicole Thompson. I'm the house manager and programming director.
Well, how has the Granada been doing since it reopened?
It's been doing pretty well. People are very excited. They come in here, and a lot of people remember it from when it used to be a movie theater. And they come in and tell us their stories. I've heard hundreds of stories of people coming in here. They remember where they sat, and some of them remember what movies they saw. And, so that's really, really great. I mean, always we want to see more people come. But we've been running the films every Thursday through Sunday, so that's been pretty exciting. And also plans are starting to formulate about doing some other things in here too besides just movies. We'll also do some concerts and hopefully, I don't know, comedians, dance troupes. I'm kind of open-minded right now as to what the possibilities are for this stage.
Do you have any favorite stories that you've been told?
There's just a lot of them. I think that the ones that strike me, there's been 3 gentlemen that I've asked about. They've told me independent days of the week that they were in here. 3 gentlemen all said the same thing when I asked them. They said they had brought their date here, many years ago. And I said, well, do you remember what movie you saw? And they said, no, I don't remember the movie. I was looking at her. That's good.
What was opening night like?
Opening night was so great. So August 28th, we opened. The very first thing we showed in here was at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was Looney Tunes cartoons. And so the big Warner Brothers shield came up and the theme song played, and then everybody clapped. It was so great. Like everybody really understood that this is the first thing that showed on the screen since 1978. It's just so exciting.
What are some of the movies you're most looking forward to showing in the upcoming future?
That's a really hard question. You said you weren't going to ask hard questions. No, let's see. We got the great Halloween stuff that's coming up this weekend, and that's really cool. I mean, we just showed E.T., which is I think one of my favorite movies. Last week it wasn't really planned, or last Sunday rather, we had 2 Spielberg movies, which was E.T. and Jurassic Park, and I realized on Sunday that they're both by Spielberg, so should have done some promotion around him. But anyway, thinking about bringing Polar Express in at the holiday time, and then certainly around holidays we're going to be bringing in all those great Christmas films that people love to see. So I'm looking forward to that. And the opening, the day of the tree lighting here in the city of Bluefield, the kids are going to come and we're going to show some kind of family Christmas movie. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just love the attention to detail that the committee, the board members put into this place when they did the renovation. And that all happened before I got here. So I feel so fortunate to be able to come into this project at this time after all this work has been done. And just join this team of people to now help book it and make it successful. I mean, that's just a really great opportunity. But there's a lot of things, little stories about this place, about the renovation project that really make it interesting. And you can really see when you walk in just their great attention to detail that they spent doing this. And so now I would like to try to keep that attention to detail with every decision that I make now going forward. So it's pretty cool. Bluefieldgranada.com. Go buy tickets.
My name is Jim Jenks. I'm part of the original Bluefield Preservation Society. Now we are BARC, B-A-R-C. And my mission here is to help on restoring the organ. This is the original organ that was built especially for the Granada Theater. This is the console, Mac Abernathy, and he is from North Carolina, Liberty, North Carolina. Barry Simmons, he is from Blacksburg, Virginia, and they are the main ones that are restoring the organ. I'm just mainly a helper, and also we have Harry Moore. He is also a Bluefield resident. He is also helping in restoring it. The console is going to be digitized from the original way it was. The sounds that are on the organ, we can have a train whistle, we can have bells, drums. It is a multitude of instruments. Back in the day that it was built for the theater, that's the only way they could get sounds for the movies and silent movies. Train comes on, you got to have a train whistle, everything. So it's very interesting and it's very technical now. What Mac is doing to it, he, like I say, he's digitizing everything.
Will that make it easy?
It'll be easier to work on because the technology now is better than back in the 20s, and you know, this our theater, this organ sat in the bottom of the basement for 5 years, which the basement was damp and everything, so we're having to redo a lot of things on the organ, like some of the flutes, the wooden flutes, had to be completely repaired, and everything. So moisture is bad for the organ.
Okay, now, like if you need a pop and a pow and all that, is that on that organ too?
Yes, we have drums, we have cymbals, we have flutes, we have all the sounds that are in a band, in an orchestra, we have. We got our organ back from the Keith Alba in Huntington, West Virginia. They originally acquired our organ, but in time they acquired their original organ back. So they called us, the BPS, and they said, hey, you know, we will give you your organ back. All we want is tax credits for the organ. And all y'all have to do is just get a truck, come up here and pick it up. And so that's what we did. We got a 21-foot enclosed truck. We thought, piece of cake, going up to get it. And man, we barely got all the organ pieces in that truck. Piedmont, they are heading over the restoration of the organ, and they're doing this free of charge. They're not, the only thing they're charging for is any parts that need to be bought for the organ. The labor, they're not charging, and it's Mac Abernathy, Barry Simmons, and the Bluefield people are myself and Harry Moore. It's still our organ. They're in a society that goes around and revitalizes organs. The Piedmont people, they have organs in Bristol, and I'm not sure exactly where else, but I know the one in Bristol.
Now, Greensboro has a big theater. I bet they do in Greensboro too, probably. So they come and fix it. Tell us about that. If something goes wrong, what happens?
They will come up and repair anything free of charge. The only thing they ask for is maybe to pay for room and board. But other than that, their services are free. And this is very technical. Before I started working with them, I had no knowledge of the organ, the background, everything. And so it's very learning for myself.
Okay, Jim, that's the blower. Will you explain what that does compared to what it does for the organ?
Okay, this supplies the air to make all of the instruments play. There's an air system, there's a ductwork that goes all the way across the theater in the attic and comes down on the other side, which is the main chamber and this one above us is the solo chamber. And it supplies the air for all the instruments that play. These are flutes, and whenever the blower motor that we showed you a while ago is on, air is pumped in to each chamber. This is the main chamber. We got a solo chamber and a main chamber. This is the main. When the air comes in, it goes to all of the flutes and all the other pieces here. Now, whenever the air comes through, the flaps will open. Now, they don't all open at one time. Each note is played. There'll be a flap that opens up, and that note will play. But you'll have them periodically opening up all through this.
So it'd actually be kind of fun to sit down in the theater and watch the flaps open and close, because it'd be like almost like an accordion or something.
Basically, it almost looks like an accordion because all the flaps don't open at once, unless there is a really big note, or
And all these things with these knobs, these wooden things and everything, they all make noise.
right.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. And they're supplied with the air that is pumped up. If you see underneath me, there is pipes.
PVC, yeah.
The PVC pipes are functioning with the air.
Wow.
It's very interesting, and it's surprising that back when this was built, that they had the technology back then to do something like
Well, even
this.
the knowledge.
The knowledge, really.
Wow. Because that looks so like 100 years ago. That's really 100 years ago almost.
Over 100 years ago, really, yes.
Well, that's amazing. See, when I was a kid, and Joe, and well, your dad was young, but when Joe and all those Montcalm kids would come up here, we thought where the screen was that was the end of the theater. None of us ever knew all this was back here, because the talkies came and the vaudeville went out. You see? And then when we got here, it's hard to see with the camera that if you look straight up, that's 60 feet. 60 feet to that ceiling. And they used to bring, I'll show you. They used to bring sets in from the N&W. If you look on the back of this building when you leave, see that big door? It's halfway up the back of the building, and it's white on the outside. And you'd see these levers in the floor. They would pull this floor up and slide that set in. Then they'd hook it onto some change pulley, and they could pull it up. They could get rid of it. Pull it up. And if you had 4 scenes in your show, you just drop the whole thing down. So you close that curtain at the end of scene 1, pull the set up, drop the next one, scene 2. It was an up and down thing, and it made it much quicker. And that was how vaudeville shows were done. But when the talkies came, all this went away, and we didn't have vaudeville shows anymore. I sort of kind of wish we did. We still have live theater. We have live theater here too. This floor is original 1927. They stained it. Swope Construction was our crew. They just won an award last week for the most outstanding remodel job in the state of West Virginia. They got a big old trophy, and they're going to share it with us for the job that they did here. Those are the teasers, but see, then we can close this, and it's perfect. I don't know if your camera will show that or not, but this, on most theaters, you had to have a disappearing if somebody needed to disappear. And that shows you how small humans were 100 years ago, because not too many of us could fall through that hole today. This is the stuff that we wanted to keep. Of course, we don't use it, but these were the old things that hoisted things, electricity. We just wanted to keep them just for people to see,
Yeah.
We kept a lot of the old stuff up there. We're not going to throw anything away. We'll probably have a museum someday.
How did the restoration project start for this?
The theater fell out in the road, the Colonial Theater, in 2008, February the 28th, 2009. And we had 2 theaters left. And I'm a complainer. Everybody will tell you that. I'm a positive complainer. And so I called the mayor, Linda Whalen, at the time, who was a personal friend, and I said, what are we going to do? We've only got 1 theater left now. What are we going to do? Are we going to let it fall down too? Because it was sitting here empty. And she said, well, Skip, why don't we try to put a group of people together that would be interested in doing that, and let's start a preservation society. If you could go out and find about 8 or 9 people, that's the perfect number for a board. Y'all could start, and maybe you never know who in this town might be willing to help you. So, of course, I went to my good friend Jim Jenks, and I went to Gail Satterfield, and I went to Julie Hurley, and I went to Ronnie Martin, and I went to Betsy Sorrell, and I went to Deborah Amar, and Julie Johnson, and before you know it, we had 9 very capable people. Hal Gussler, he passed away during this process, but it was a vibrant working committee. The first thing we had to do, people wanted to give us money, but we didn't own the building. So we had to wait till the taxes were due. The person who owned the building was not paying the taxes. So we had a group of people, they were called Bluefield Economic Development Committee or something like that, wasn't it? It was some moneyed people in town that they just had a little bit of money for economic development. And they bought this theater for us with the stipulation that we would pay them back the $75,000. That's how much we got it on the tax sale within 2 years. Well, in 2 years, we had $25,000. So we invested in a thing called the Blue Spoon, which is next door right now and very successful. And I want Jim to tell you about that, what we did for how many years?
Well, I worked there for a year and a half.
That's why I want him to tell you what he did. Tell it.
I'm a retired coal miner, but I love the arts and been in 4 Pals production since 2010. And so in order to get the Blue Spoon going, I had to be a sous chef with Julie Hurley. She was the main chef, and I helped her in the
every day.
Every day, I would go in and we would cook really good food for the public here. And we had a successful run with the Blue Spoon and ended up selling it.
And making money.
And we made a profit on it.
Yeah, we made good money, and all the board members, now Jim worked every day, but the board members would take a day apiece and we'd go in and wait tables. So I learned how to wait a table. That's what I learned from this experience. But Jim learned a whole lot, and now here he is doing this organ stuff. I think you're seeing by just talking to 2 of the 9 people that every one of us did things. I'm sounding like I did a lot. Everybody did a lot. Every single person did.
And we're all volunteers.
Yeah, none of us were paid a penny. And now it's ours. So
It's amazing.
we did a lot of things. Oh, we raffled a car.
Yeah,
Tommy Cole Motors gave us a car, and they let us raffle it, and we made $50,000 or something off of a car.
Yeah, well, also the Shock Foundation had a 3-to-1 match, and anything we matched, they would match 3 times.
So if somebody would give us $50, they'd give us $150. So that $50 turned into $200.
And so that's why the car raffle went really well.
We got 3 times that. We had a 2-year window, didn't we, for that 3-to-1. And then we raised so much money, they said, we can't pay you 3-to-1 all at once. We'll give it to you over the space of 2 years. But that's fine. That's not a problem at all. Because we can space that out, and we're really good.
Where did the name Granada come from?
Aha. We had a contest. It was in the Bluefield Daily Telegraph, and a woman from Bluefield, Virginia named it. The contest in the paper said it was Spanish Moorish design. So the owner was Mr. Cohen. He was a jeweler in Bluefield with quite a bit of money, and he built this vaudeville theater. But he wanted the public to name it. So we picked out some people from the Telegraph, and I think Whoever won got a movie pass for a year. And I can't think of the woman's name, but she came up with the name Granada, and they all fell in love with it, and that's how we got the name.
How was opening night?
Were you here? We all came for cartoons, didn't we? What did we do?
Cartoons.
We all came for cartoons. There were about 100 people, weren't there?
About 100, 125, something like that.
We've got every Looney Tune. I think I told you that. We opened with cartoons just for the kids to come on a Saturday morning. And then that night there were quite a few people. But, you know, the movies aren't quite what they used to be as far as being big. I think COVID has changed that a little too. But we have found that if we can average 40 people a movie, we will be all right. So when we have something and we get 60 or 70 people, that really plays well for when we have 10 or 20. But we're growing. What we really need to do is for people to come and see it. The prices are, I've explained the prices. These are things that university kids and college kids can afford. And most people of that age love the old movies. And that's what we're specializing in. And when we have special events, we even have a full alcohol license. So we can serve mixed drinks. We allow them to bring them to their seats and be responsible. But we do that for special occasions. We rent this place out during the week. If the college want or the university want to have a symposium, anything like that, we need to use this building every day, not just at the nighttime for movies. This needs to be, like I said, it's our building. Let's use it for everything. I think the Bluefield area is coming up here at Christmas on a weeknight, like on a Monday or Tuesday, and we're going to have a Christmas dinner up in the top part at the caterer's kitchen and stuff like that. And the people will love seeing this theater. We're not showing a movie or anything, but we got about 200 people that want to come and have a nice Christmas dinner and see what we've done. And we would like for a lot of people to do that. I mean, we're open for business.
And whenever we show plays, we have the catering kitchen. We can do dinner theater. And everybody likes dinner theater. And it'll be up on the balconies and everything. I think we can seat, 150?
Well, almost 200.
Almost 200 for dinner theater.
Yeah, and of course you're always going to have some people that won't or can't climb the steps. We can also have tables in the back there at that little level area so that, you know, you're still just got that little space between them. So we'll be all right either way it goes.
Yeah.
In 1933, Bluefield had 7 theaters, 7 movie theaters. We've got 1. So our town really pitched together to do this. We have worked very, very hard to do this, and we hope people will come and support this. We hope Bluefield University someday might do a play on this stage. That would be great. This is the People's Theater. It's not our theater. It's the Twin Cities Theater. It's Bluefield, Virginia's, Bluefield, West Virginia's, Bluefield State's, Bluefield University's, Bluefield High School, Graham High School. This is ours, and we want everybody to use it.
Thank you, because we need the publicity. And because you can't run a theater without people coming.
Amen.